to another episode of Pop City. I'm Melissa Niederman.
And I'm Renee Medor.
And I am super nervous and excited at the same time.
So am I.
To welcome our two guests. We have Scott Coulter. You are one of the most honored New York vocalists who has a very, I was going to say laundry list, but I like shopping list of awards.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
I like to
that's
shop
nice.
better.
Yeah.
And we have the iconic and fabulous photographer Michael Childers, who has probably stories that we could talk about for days, maybe years.
Yes.
But and by the way, because most of our fans are Rick fans, he has photographed Rick. So maybe we'll get that in here later, but we'll see. But anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
So much for
Good
being
to be here.
We're so excited
I've
to
heard
have
so much
you.
about you.
I hope it was
called
good.
Jeff Hucker, and I said, I want to do that show. I want to be on that show.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
It's
we're
flattering.
having a good time, and we are very excited. But what I want to do before we even discuss about both of you, let's talk about really why you're here. And that's the amazing One Night Only at the McCallum Theater. Now, this is the 17th year?
17th year.
And have you been doing it for 7? Because it's Michael Childers.
Yes.
One Night
His
Only.
baby.
Actually, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Oh,
because
okay.
it started in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I did it for the fundraiser for the AIDS community there at that time. And it started in Santa Fe, the lovely Lindsay Theater there. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And
So then when you came here, you...
came here, and Desert AIDS Project asked me to do it, and it's gone through various charities now, and we're with Barbara Sinatra Children's Center,
That's
which
wonderful.
is just a wonderful.
Well, it's
wonderful
close to my heart
place,
because
yeah.
I had a family member who needed to
Oh,
go
God,
there,
yeah.
and thank goodness we were able to bring him there,
Yes,
and it was
and
it
it's
worked.
free
That's
care
wonderful.
for they
children.
service over 25,000 people, children in the valley.
That's
So
amazing.
They do good work.
Yes, and they have services for children so that their lives can be a safe, a secure, and happy one. So look into it if you want to hear more about it. But it's the Barbara Sinatra Center that will benefit from the One Night Only. And you are the director, am I correct?
I am. This is my
Yes,
third year.
third year.
I still think
How
it's the third year with Barbara Sinatra too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
yeah, happy to be back.
How did you get involved, Michael?
Well,
Twist your arm?
actually, years ago, a performer named Jason Gra, who happens to be a dear friend of mine, was directing and asked me to be in the cast. And I came and became a part of the One Night Only family, and I haven't left.
Nor are you going to leave.
Right.
I love that.
I performed for a couple of years, and then Michael generously asked me to direct 3 years ago, and we've been having a good time
See, I
ever
only
since.
pay him to sing, which is zero.
I love
right.
The
that.
amazing thing about this show, and his Rolodex is almost as great as mine. It's prolific. It's just amazing. We're the most talented people in America. And so we call up these singers. And we said, would you like to work for a week for free?
That's amazing.
But to come to glorious Palm Springs in the winter and perform at for a charity. And very few people say no.
Everyone
in fact,
says yes.
The last 2 years, our show has been so good. We've had people calling us up saying, "Can I be in your show?"
See, that
And
says
we
a lot about
Yeah.
that.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Yeah,
And we hear
yeah.
about it all year long. Everybody's so excited for
Yeah,
this event.
yeah.
It's a great night, and it's everybody's there in a spirit of gratitude and giving back, which is really wonderful.
And that's probably
it's a
why they
testament to
want to
Michael
do it for
and
free.
what
Well,
he's
You know,
built.
it
Yeah.
opens the season in the desert.
That is true.
That's the great
That's right.
thing now, with the McCallum giving us this incredible day at the beginning of November. We start the season. We start the social season. And
With a bang.
it's really
Boom.
good.
And that's November 8th, correct?
November 8th, which is a
November 8th.
Wednesday night.
Okay.
And the McCallum Theater is one of the most beautiful theaters here in the desert. They have fabulous shows. And as Michael and Scott has said, they start out our season. And this is going to be a fabulous show. Can you tell us some of the people? who are
Yeah,
gonna
some of the
be-
performers?
Sure.
Some-
Well, every year the show, he's so smart. Every year has a different theme. So people keep coming back to see what, the new theme presents a brand new show. And this year's theme is Las Vegas, the golden years, 1950 to 1970.
Wow.
So
That's
Frank
gonna be great.
Sinatra,
Frank
Tony
Sinatra,
Bennett.
yes. We're
That
actually
era,
going to go
okay.
from Frank in 1950 to Elvis in 1970.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're
I
going to
love
use that 20 years to show how America changed over that 20 years, but so did music. That was the most, I guess, radical change from music from 1950 to 1970. We've never seen anything like it. So we're going to sort of look at that change through the lens of Las Vegas headliners, and with some of our very own headliners, who include Debbie Boone.
Whom we love.
Isn't she the best?
Yes.
Jason Graz coming back to open our show. Nita Whitaker is going to
Clint
contribute.
Holmes.
Clint Holmes.
Yes, I
Okay,
saw
so
that.
Clint Holmes has a song that my brother and I used to sing all the time. The Playground in My Mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
yes.
right now I've been singing it all day today.
Isn't it
That's
great?
such an
It's a
iconic
great song.
song.
But that song, that's a great song, and he does a great job with that song. But he is so much more than that.
I know,
He
yeah.
is an incredible singing storyteller. Last year, he stopped the show with New York State of Mind. It was returning to New York, and it
that
was
must
so
have been
beautiful.
amazing.
And this year, he's paying tribute to Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, I was going to ask.
It's really great.
So I know you probably don't want to tell all the secrets,
Right.
but so there are people, obviously, like you said, are going to sing Elvis Presley songs, and those who are going to sing Frank Sinatra,
Right.
but they're keeping that hum.
Well, it's sort of fun to sort of just show up and go along for the ride.
Right.
So we're going to take you, not in exact chronological order, but pretty much in order from 1950 to 1970. So you can see, as an audience member, all the songs are amazing showstoppers,
Right.
but see how music actually changed. And one cool thing about it is in the 1950s, a lot of hit songs still came from Broadway.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
that, like halfway through the 60s, that stopped. That was no more the case. So everything sort of shifted with Sonny and Cher, and Tina Turner's going to make an appearance. Not Tina Turner, but like a Tina Turner
Right.
song. And
Oh my gosh.
Elvis.
Oh my-
It's
That's
really,
wonderful. Guys, this sounds incredible.
Yeah, and you think about going from the chairman of the board to the king in
Right.
just 2 decades. It was sort of a passing of the baton from one pop idol to the other.
Now, Michael, so throughout the show, do people talk and discuss the music, or do you just see it go by song
They
to song?
might, if they have a personal thing about Vegas.
Okay.
Clint lives there. He knows every great story. And Debbie Boone, her father performed there so many
right.
times. And we love that. But it's just one song to another. It just keeps building. It's like you're on the Magic Mountain on the
Roller
roller
coaster.
coaster,
Yeah.
and it just goes from one song into the next.
Wow.
And it never stops. It just keeps building and building.
And how many performers are going to
24?
Ooh.
24 this year.
24
Wow.
singers, and we actually have 45 in the cast with MTU singers and dancers.
Oh, you have the
that's
Nickerson-Rossi
Nickerson-Rossi,
ballet, and
That's
we're using a
fantastic.
lot of dance this year.
Oh,
But
that'd be
last year
nice.
was the first year we really brought it in, and it was huge.
Oh,
yeah,
it was
and we
gorgeous.
weren't sure if it was going to work, and it did.
It did.
So,
That's
so we're
amazing.
bringing it back.
Well, he knows how to do it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
fantastic.
he's-
Michael-
isn't he?
so
great.
talented.
He's so talented.
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and those kids are great. And
Yeah.
not kids and adults
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
The
But-
kids are always a highlight of the show. So
Oh, I'm sure.
And
Yes.
they're probably very excited to
Yes.
be a part of this.
They
What an honor for them. That's incredible.
Can you imagine these
Oh.
kids at 14 and 16 to be rubbing shoulders
With
with
all that talent.
Yeah.
all these great
Hopefully their
stars.
parents are telling them who the people are.
Well, they're very
they're
very
cool.
smart.
They're very versed,
Very
yeah.
smart.
And they're very kind, and they Facebook friend everybody, and we stay in touch.
That's
and
great.
we've
And
sort
they're
of
doing
gotten
their
to watch them work.
research, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would if I was
Yeah.
one of those kids. Now, the orchestra. Is it one orchestra that plays all of the songs for all of these?
Sure,
24
it's one orchestra for the whole night, and it's led by our music director Todd Schroeder, who is brilliant and helps us put all the musical components
The
together.
14-piece band.
Yeah, 14-piece band.
Wow.
It's very impressive. It's awesome. I mean, I wish we could either live stream these events or do them,
right.
because it's so much. I wish we could share them to a larger audience because they're really extraordinary.
I bet.
And a couple of years ago, Barry Manilow, I have a friend who works with Barry Manilow, and she wrote me 2 letters. She goes, Barry came back from the show raving. He brought the program. He told us what everybody's saying. He told us how it happened. He was blown away. And I was like, okay, that's
Okay,
awesome.
yeah,
That's Barry Manilow.
And is he a part of this or
He's
part of
a
Barbara Sinatra?
producer.
Barry is one of the major sponsors
wonderful.
of the event and
bless
of the Barbara Sinatra
sponsor.
Children's Center. Yeah.
That's right, and you can't do
Barry,
this without the
Barry and
sponsors.
Gary Keefe. They're
Right.
really, really solid, great supporters of this event.
Of all
That's
music,
great.
yes, especially with children. children. And so you can't do this without the supporters,
Right.
obviously, and the
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah.
So
But
thank
again, they've
goodness
been
for them.
they've been sponsors for a long time, and again, it speaks to Michael and the work he's done for 2 decades now. You've raised how much money for charities in the desert,
In the desert?
or
Or everywhere.
everywhere?
Let's get the calculator.
Well,
I know, right?
It's like over $3 million. I
$3
think.
million.
Wow, that's
yeah.
congratulations.
Isn't that
What a
fantastic?
cause. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
causes. Good causes.
How has it changed from when you first started it in Santa Fe to bringing it here?
We had one piano.
Oh my gosh.
We had a curtain. We had a couple of spotlights. And we had my Rolodex.
Wow.
The man with the golden Rolodex here.
I know.
And I called up people, and can I tell you just this beautiful, if you know the Lansing, it's gorgeous, old theater. And we had the one piano, and I had Carol Channing.
Oh,
I
I
had Baryshnikov. I had
You had Baryshnikov?
Yes, of White
Oh,
Oak
my
Ballet.
gosh.
I had Carol Burnett. I had
my
Lauren
goodness.
Bacall as MC. I just all these great people came because they wanted to go to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
You picked the right place.
Yes.
Everyone wants to get out of New York or LA and come to Santa
Come
Fe.
to-
Now, everyone I know who lives in New York in the winter wants to come to Palm
Palm
Springs. So
That is very true.
that certainly helps. Yeah.
Wow.
That's fabulous.
Now, did you have a connection with Barbara Sinatra? I know you just started it 3 years ago, but were you close friends with her? I know she lived out
You
here
know, I
with
wasn't
Frank.
close, but I was so lucky to get to know her in the last 2 years of her
Oh,
life.
that's wonderful.
And mainly through Nelda Lensk, who I
Yes, she's
love and
iconic,
adore.
yes.
If you're friends with Nelda, you know the whole history of the desert.
Right.
And used to go to her house and sit there the wee small hours of the morning. And she had something that I'd never heard of before, and that's jalapeno martinis.
Oh wow!
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Cinnamons or jalapeno, and after one or two, the stories would come out.
That's how you get the story.
Mostly
Yeah.
about Vegas. And I'd
Oh.
hear these stories and say, more. They're great stories, and she was very funny. Lovely lady.
And she told good.
Yeah.
Did you
Lovely
tell
lady.
secrets? Like really good
Good
secrets?
Sounds like a
Yeah,
truth
but I'm-
serum.
I don't
No,
repeat
you don't
secrets.
have to tell
No,
secrets,
no.
but I just want to know if she
But
did.
I got to photograph her for the cover of Palm Springs Life
Oh,
magazine.
that's fantastic.
The pictures turned out great. She loved
of course
the
they
photos.
did.
Of
I'm so
course.
happy about that.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that. And so, Scott, when you're directing, so what goes into that? I mean, I used to direct the plays at my school at
Oh,
Palm
wonderful.
Valley here.
Wonderful.
But that has nothing.
Great school.
Yes, but so what does it entail for this kind of a show?
Well, for this kind of show, we're starting with a blank canvas. There's nothing there.
Right.
So once we have the theme, we sort of start thinking about how we're going to present this show, so that it's not just a night of she sang this and he sang that, and they danced that, and she sang that. It's like it needs to have some sort of overarching theme. And the cool thing about this particular period is, as we mentioned, music changed, but so did America. Like in the 1950s, Vegas was still segregated.
Right.
So these huge stars like Lena Horne and Nat King Cole and Harry Belafonte could perform in Vegas, but they couldn't attend
Couldn't
concerts or
stay in a
casinos. They couldn't stay in the
hotel or
hotel.
dine.
Yeah.
How sad.
Yeah, it's amazing. In fact, in
Yeah.
1953, Lena Horne was playing at the Sands Hotel, and they let her stay there. She let her family stay there, but they weren't very welcoming, and so she still had to be
That's
escorted
only
by
because
security.
Frank Sinatra called.
Yes, yeah. So she had to be escorted through the house every night by security. And one night, Marlene Dietrich went over and took her by the arm and escorted her through herself. And so that was a huge statement.
Oh, good
but
for
still,
her.
yeah,
Oh
but
my
still,
gosh.
but still, that was years before any sort of real change came to Las Vegas. So it's really an interesting period to think about where we start and where we end up, and also how recent that was. But I sort of got off track. So,
No,
you
no,
have
it's
I tell you,
interesting.
but
I love
it's funny
that.
how we get these ideas. And 3 years ago, he called me up and said, I see a subway station and a trip around New York on the subway.
Oh, that was
this
last year.
became
That
last
was
year's
last year.
concept.
Oh, my
People
gosh.
love that.
That was cool.
And
That's
I said,
amazing.
I'm a New
Scott,
Yorker.
I'm so interested in Bugsy Siegel and how Vegas was built and by all
Right.
these great people, and Howard Hughes and all the pioneers
Yeah.
in Vegas who made this the greatest showplace in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So once we get an idea, then Michael goes to his golden Rolodex and starts asking people who all say yes. And so once a cast is assembled, we try to find the perfect song for each person. and put it together in a way that makes
He's
sense
so
musically.
brilliant, as Scott, about matching
Yeah,
the
I was going to say.
song
So you're
and
the one who says you
song,
sing
the
this.
personality with
Yeah.
the voice, and that's really important.
Yes.
Instead
That
of just
is a talent.
saying to a singer, "Here's the song," goes.
Yeah.
No, he matches everything.
Well, I was
Unbelievable.
thinking that they chose it, and then they were all
No,
fighting
no,
over
no,
which
No, no,
song.
no, no, no. They
No,
they
no.
get they're told what they're going to be
Wow.
singing,
They
and
can,
they're
they can
good.
choose their shoes.
And that's it.
And the lipstick.
I have to say though, it really speaks very highly again of you and all you've done, because everyone's like, okay,
They trust,
whatever you
yeah.
ask. Most people are very trusting. There are a couple of people that always like want to have their particular thing, but we always come to around to seeing things the same way, and we get on the same page. But it's really fun, because a lot of people have left from these nights with new signature songs that they had never done before, but they worked
And
so
they
well.
use them
Great
in their,
challenge.
they use
They
them in their
forever.
act.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
bet.
we see them opening up a month later at 54 Below in New York,
Yeah.
or at the Purple Room in Palm Springs, and they're doing
you're like,
our
"Oh,
song.
Yeah. So it's
kudos
really
to
pretty
you.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of work for you.
Yes.
To really, with
No.
24 people, but it must be fun because you enjoy
It's
it.
like
Yeah.
play. I mean, I don't want to say this, but I do. I pay to do it. So
Right.
you didn't hear that, but
I'm amazed that they're doing this for free. You're telling them what to
Isn't
sing,
that incredible?
and
That
they're
is.
not being divas
Yeah.
about
You
it.
They're not-
figure out they give minimum 7 days of their life to do
Wow.
this show. They travel from New York or here, the rehearsal in New York or in LA, and it's 3 days here. That's a great gift from the theater.
Really?
community.
Well, it's a testament to you both.
Yeah.
to
And
him.
you,
It's
yes.
to him.
They-
You know,
I
you
am
know the right
so-
people.
You're loved.
Well, I'm so grateful for these people.
Oh,
It's-
right.
it's- I have such. I'm a fan too. I'm a Broadway fan, and I
Right.
love these people.
And yeah, the respect. It's
And they
obvious.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And Michael and the sponsors do a really great job of treating everyone
Parties,
like royalty.
parties.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Everybody
wait,
has
wait, wait.
parties.
Yeah.
Is there a party before?
There's a party
after?
before, there's a party during, there's a party
party
after.
after. Wow.
And it's just really, and because a lot of people over the years, there's a one night only family. Like, so people get to come back year after year sometimes and see friends that they only see in the desert, or it feels like a homecoming for a lot of people and a new adventure for other people. So every year there are new folks and older folks, and it's a nice family that he's created. And
Yeah, the Desert Sun said it's the best party of the year. That's right. It's the one night only
No doubt.
cast party.
That's true.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Oh, the cast
We have a
party.
cast
so-
party.
after the show, yeah.
After the show. Okay.
Yes, and the night before we do too, at a private home.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Wow,
But
that's
it's good.
that's incredible.
But even at the cast party, someone's always at the piano. Last year, and I believe this year as well, Billy Stritch is at the piano.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's in the show, but then he plays the piano at the cast party, and the
Everybody-
cast gets up and sings.
Everybody
It's like an
gets
open
up
mic
and
night. Yeah.
sings
Well, if they
songs.
ever want to have that here at
Yeah.
my house, it's open to them.
Yeah.
Piano's right
The
there.
piano's waiting.
You really get two shows. You get
That's
the one night only
right.
show, and then you get the
So
after party show, which is really fun.
It's really
and yeah. And
Wow.
people sort of let their hair down and just let loose.
I
It's
love
fun.
that.
That's when we can relax.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Do you still get stressed about it after all?
Stress.
Of Darling, no.
Stress.
What's that?
Oh, what does that even mean?
One of us gets stressed.
One of us.
Right?
the one
right?
who's the director.
No. I don't think we really get stressed, and we work well together.
No.
Probably because you're
Yeah.
working with
That-
professionals.
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
I trust him 100%. He's got
very
great
kind.
taste, great knowledge, and I get emotional. So he's my steady rock.
I love
That's
it.
great.
Years ago, a director I worked with doing shows at the Town Hall in New York City. His name was Scott Siegel, and it was a series called Broadway by the Year, which focused on, from January to December, a single year on Broadway, and the shows that opened that season. So from like 1920, every night was a different year, and it was really cool. And, he would have people cancel, cast members drop out, Saturday night before the show on Monday.
Oh,
And I'd be like,
gosh.
oh my gosh, what are you going to? He's like, it always works out.
yeah.
It always works out.
I
And
love
I
that
thought,
attitude.
It's the attitude.
You know
yeah.
what?
You put that
that's
energy
a
out.
really
and it works.
great attitude.
We have this every year. Somebody drops
Yeah.
out. They get a job, or their kid is sick, or something.
that happens,
And
yeah.
Scott lets us roll along with it. And next,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What are you gonna
have
do?
to.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing you can do. Yeah.
And sometimes wonderful things happen. Like
Right.
sometimes it ends up being better.
Yeah.
Like,
or the
so-
show is shorter.
Oh my God!
Or you
They
get
could
a-
go to the party earlier, right?
Yeah.
Scott, you produce so much. I mean, I'm a big Michael Feinstein, and I
Right.
read that you produce and directed several of the installments of the Standard Time.
Yeah, he
at
has
Carnegie Hall.
I know, and that's
That's
cool. Yeah, it's really cool. He has a series there. He does 3 or 4 shows a year in one of the smaller theaters there,
Okay.
the middle-sized theater.
Sure.
And several years ago, I was asked to sort of come and help put one of them together, and he's kept me around, which has been great. So it's really fun.
Oh, that's
'Cause
Michael is great. Because of Michael saying yes to Santa Fe for the first one night only.
Oh, really?
We couldn't have gotten the money that our tiny budget together
Right.
without
Wow.
Michael was so helpful.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I love
it's
that.
great fun though. It's really fun.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Well, we are really excited about it. I mean, and first of all, I'm really excited that you guys are here.
Oh, thanks
Yes,
for having
and
us.
thank
I
you for
could-
taking the time. We
could
really
keep
appreciate
talking,
it.
and I really do. Just have a couple of questions, Michael. Just first of all, the photographs that Michael. My mom has one of your books. I don't know if you have more than one, but they're just absolutely stunning. And I know Natalie Wood was one of
That
your
is
absolute.
iconic. I love that
favorite.
1968
My
photo of her is amazing.
She started my career.
Wow.
Oh, she did. Really?
Yeah, because I met her. She was great friends with my husband, John Schlesinger, the British film director. So I got to know her when I first met John in 1967 or 8. And she was my first movie star.
Wow.
Were you nervous?
Of course I was. I didn't ask her for her autograph. But she just had her first child, Natasha. And a beautiful, beautiful child. And I said, well, could I sometime take a few pictures for just for you, not for publication? And she said, yes, I hear you're a pretty good photographer. So she allowed me to do a photo session with she and Natasha. And I worked so hard to make these the most beautiful prints and gorgeous. I mean, and she said, I love your pictures. They're great. You can photograph me anytime you want.
Oh, what?
And then I get a call from her publicist about 3 months later and said, Natalie wants you on our next film at Warner Brothers.
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh.
Okay. And my whole career,
Amazing.
built
on
around that.
once you have Natalie Wood, who was the biggest star in Hollywood at that time.
Right.
Then
Absolutely.
all the other great stars start calling,
That's amazing.
And Margaret and
Oh, wow.
All the
Which that
beautiful
photo's at
magic.
849 in Palm
Yeah.
Springs
That's
on
a
the
great
motorcycle.
photo. That a
I
great
love
photo.
You've been to the 849
Who
Michael
has
Schiller's
it?
room?
Of course, that's
Aw.
dying in that
Darling,
room.
that's-
I
my
have
room.
my own room.
You do.
At Willie Ryan's beautiful restaurant.
With
Right.
Lucy Arnez and all
When
of
we make
them.
our
Yeah.
reservations, my family, he always says, "Do you want the Michael Childers?"
Yeah, we always get
Dude.
that Michael Childers
Yeah.
Why
one.
wouldn't I? But there's so many incredibly beautiful pictures that it's almost like you can see into their soul sometimes. How did you bring that out? Because there are some celebrities who are very shy, even though you see them up on stage, you see them on the movies.
A lot.
So you had to be a little bit of a therapist,
Right,
I guess,
like-
in a way.
I'm a Dr. Freud too.
That's why you guys
If
get
you want to
along.
be a great photographer, you've got to learn psychology. And I went to UCLA Film School and I learned about directing. I learned how to direct actors. Talented people like to
Okay.
be told
What-
where to
what-
go,
yeah.
what to do.
Right.
They really do say, could I have some direction, please?
Yes.
So many of the new photographers can't tell a celebrity, to go from A to B. No, they can't discuss it. And that taught me how to work with the greatest actors. They're complex. They're thoroughbreds. They're like racehorses, and they're the best of the best. And you learn how to deal with it.
That's
And there's
amazing.
only a couple a-holes that I. In thousands of photo sessions, they're just.
That were
I'd
tough.
say 98% were one because
good.
they want a collaboration to create something
Sure.
really good, and you can only do that with collaboration.
Right, absolutely.
And what a wonderful collaboration.
Yes,
you
you
two
It's a real gift
have
for me. Yeah.
brought
Peaches.
us here.
That's amazing.
Well, again, November 8th, McCallum Theater.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6
sharp.
p.m.
6 p.m. sharp.
And do you go to Barbara Sinatra Center website for the tickets, or are we going to
The McCallum Theater website.
Okay.
McCallum Theater website?
Unless you want the VIP
tickets.
tickets, which includes the dinner and the great parties.
Okay.
I
Call
think the
the-
parties.
You can call the Sinatra Center, and they're
on that.
they're a little pricey, but you get money, you get value.
Oh, you get value.
You get value.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And and the normal tickets are on sale now at the McAllen box office.
Great.
Okay.
And they're selling fast.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure they
yeah.
are. It's gonna
So
be.
let's make
almost
sure
gone.
we get this out and everybody get their tickets.
Yes.
That's right. Do you have a
Thanks
favorite?
again.
Do you have a favorite Vegas headliner? I just have to ask.
Well, you're gonna laugh at me.
No, 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 no.
Oh, I know what she's gonna say. Go for it.
Well, I've been a Barry Manilow fan for
All right, there
since
you go.
I was
That's-
11 years
Who's gonna
old.
laugh? You
You know what? I used to be made fun of all through high school.
Oh, no.
He's
And
the best.
I did see Barry Manilow in Vegas. He was amazing.
He
but
is incredible.
one who impressed me was Celine Dion. I could
yeah.
not.
Great
The
show.
production value, everything. It was amazing.
I mean,
I was-
you can't top Celine
I know.
and Barry
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Streisand
And
the great shows that we've all seen there.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's a special place.
I haven't been the same since I saw Liberace in Vegas. It affected me deeply.
Well, there you go, a topic for another show.
Exactly. I
Well,
love
we
it.
really do hope that we can
Thank
bring you back.
It's been great.
Oh,
Yes.
it's so fabulous.
Really
and
fun.
hopefully we'll see you on November
Yeah.
8th.
Yes,
Yeah,
and thank
great.
you for taking the time. We
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank
Yes.
you. And thank you for being with us on Pop City with Michael and Scott.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
Bye-bye.
Pop